President Kiir dedicates International Labour Day to resilient workers of the country. Africa Innovation Summit concludes in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. And Yambio Central Prison has been boosted with food and hygiene supplies. Hello, good afternoon, and thank you for tuning in to Ssbc. I am Mathiang Joseph. We begin with an encouraging message from President Salva Kiir on International Labour Day. President Salva Kiir has dedicated the Labour Day to the resilient South Sudanese workers who endure the immense challenges throughout their endeavors for the national prosperity. The annual commemoration of the Labour Day reflects positive contributions of global workforce to global prosperity. The head of the state reaffirms his government's dedication to timely payment of salaries for both civil servants and the army as part of government's broader efforts to enhancing the well-being of the citizens. Here is a full text of the message. On this important occasion of International Labour Day, I extend my heartfelt appreciation to all the hard-working men and women of the country. This day is a tribute to your tireless efforts and unwavering dedication to the growth, development, and stability of our beloved nation. To our civil servants, your perseverance amid economic challenges is deeply commendable. The government recognizes the hardships you face, and I assure you of our continued commitment to improving your working conditions, ensuring timely salary payments, and pursuing sustainable reforms to strengthen public service. To our valued partners in the diplomatic community, United Nations agencies, international organizations, NGOs, your ongoing support for peace building, humanitarian responses, and national development remains vital as we move forward together in the spirit of partnership and mutual respect. As we observe this day, let it also serve as a moment of reflection on how far we have come and the collective efforts is still required to achieving lasting peace, economic progress, and social justice in our country. I urge all of you to continue working in unity, guided by the principles of dignity, accountability, and shared responsibility. On behalf of the government of the Republic of South Sudan, I wish you all a peaceful and meaningful Labour Day. May God bless you all, and may God bless South Sudan. Salva Kiir Mayardit, President of the Republic of South Sudan, Juba. Kiir has called for a renewed momentum to improving the country's global outlook as the new Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Akwebona Malwal, takes an oath of office to lead a diplomatic rebranding efforts in the country. Ssbc's Alejandro Lotog reports.
To protect and promote the unity
of the people of South Sudan.
In a move aimed at revitalizing South Sudan's foreign policy and strengthening its international standing, President Salva Kiir Mayardit has instructed the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation to take proactive steps toward reshaping the country's image on the world stage. The President made the remarks on Wednesday during the official swearing-in of the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, Akwebona Malwal. Kiir emphasized the critical role of diplomacy and pledged full support to the ministry as it works to fulfill its mandate.
Akwebona, you are not a new person to Ministry of Foreign Affairs. You are supposed to work together as a team. I know all of you have been, one time or another, have been serving in the foreign ministry. And I want you all to team up as you have been brought to this ministry and do the job that is needed. 3 of you, the top people in the ministry, have been there for quite some time.
Backing the president's directive, Foreign Minister Mande Semaya Kumba reaffirmed his ministry's commitment to portraying a more positive and accurate picture of South Sudan to the international community.
And with him joining me in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, I'm very confident that we'll be able to work together to meet your expectations and then the expectations of the people in the government of South Sudan. Again, I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate Ambassador Okoye and welcome him formally to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And I would like to reiterate our commitment to work closely with each other to advance our bilateral relations with different countries, and also to at least reach the world, the global community challenges, and address our challenges under your guidance.
Newly appointed Deputy Minister Akwe Bona Malwal promised to bring his diplomatic experience to bear in advancing the ministry's performance.
We have to approach the world because we are being looked at with concern, and it's our job to ease that concern with diplomatic engagement, because we cannot afford not to engage the world, and we have to regain the goodwill that they have received that with.
Meanwhile, Minister of Presidential Affairs Chol Mauta Jongo expressed confidence in the new leadership, saying it marks the beginning of a new chapter in South Sudan's foreign relations.
There will be no reason why the expectations of the leadership, in this case the President, should not be met by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, given the team that is in place. And I am also glad that sitting here where I sit, as same colleague from the same background, I think the result, we should be result-oriented and we should be able to deliver, especially in that front, diplomatic front, where is coming in with a huge resource, multilateral, Monday also bilateral, use practices, same thing with Agnes. And I think there's a good chance that the image projected about us, we should be able to clear it.
Officials highlight Akwe's extensive diplomatic background, including his service as South Sudan's permanent representative to the United Nations in New York. Experience, they say, will be key in steering the country's rebranding efforts. Alejandro Lotok, Ssbc News.
Now, reverting your attention to parliamentary updates. Parliament is set to resume from its long recess in the upcoming days. The Speaker of Parliament, Right Honourable Speaker Jema Nunu Kumba, confirmed this to the media following her meeting with President Salva Kiir Mayardit. Their discussion focused on fostering peace and security as key pillars for the country's prosperity. In a media statement after the meeting, Speaker Nunu highlights President Kiir's continued focusing on strengthening peace and national unity, recognizing the resilience of the South Sudanese citizens in the face of immense national challenges. As the national parliament reconvenes, lawmakers are expected to deliberate on critical national issues, including governance, economic reforms, and the implementation of the peace agreement.
Consult him on the issue of parliament, especially on the opening of the national parliament, which is now due. We have agreed to open the parliament so that the first session can commence, but the date for the opening will be announced in due course. We have also talked about the general situation in the country. As a parliament representing the people, we express our concern about the current political and security situation. And His Excellency has assured us he's doing his best to ensure that the country stays peaceful, and that all the parties to the agreement work together to maintain.
The ruling party SPLM and South Sudan Opposition Alliance SOA have reassured their unwavering cooperation towards effective implementation of the peace agreement. This follows a meeting between the Vice President Joseph Lagu and the SPLM First Deputy Chairperson and Secretary General Dr. James Wani Iga in Juba on Wednesday.
Her Excellency, the Vice President, congratulated Dr. James Wani Iga for his appointment as Secretary General and also for maintaining his position as First Deputy Chairman of the SPLM party. She also thanked and congratulated the President, His Excellency Salva Kiir Mayardit, for his continuous trust upon James Wani Iga for running the affairs of the party. Her Excellency Josephine Lago also assured the First Deputy Chairman and the Secretary General of the SPLM party of her continuous cooperation and support to ensure the full implementation of the revitalized peace agreement, which she described as the only way for achieving lasting peace and stability in the country.
In his remarks, the First Deputy Chairman, Comrade Professor Wani Iga, expressed his warm reception and acknowledged the presence of Her Excellency to visit him in this, so the humility. Also, His Excellency expressed unconditional decision of how she's going to, our Vice President for Service Cluster, she will maintain that position because she is well versed with her ability, her effort. All the time they have been working together in the economic cluster during the 5 years. Also, Comrade Iga said despite the fact that they are in different political parties, he will still be cooperating with them as the leader of South Sudan Opposition Alliance, as she has been heading all along since.
One of the peace monitoring bodies, the reconstituted Joint Monitoring and Evaluation Commission, RJAMEC, continues to urge the parties signatory to the peace agreement to choose dialogue as a means of addressing challenges in the implementation of the peace accord to transition the country to democratic path. This follows a meeting between the chairperson of National Transitional Committee and Senior Presidential Advisor Kwal Manyang Juk and the RJAMEC Chief of Staff Benhanu Kabede, which focused on reviewing progress and challenges in the implementation of the peace agreement in the country. During the meeting, the chairperson of the National Transitional Committee, Juk, provided Kabede with a detailed report on the challenges hampering the progress and practical solutions.
Briefing that we are still going ahead with the implementation of the agreement. Though the first the training of the necessary security forces. Of course, it is not possible now with the security situation where there is insecurity now created by disagreements. And the issue of Nasser, there's fighting in Nasser there, insecurity in some areas. So it is difficult even for the teams to go and verify the cantonment areas and the training centers. It is insecure now. We are still waiting for the Joint Defense Committee to inform us of the safety of these areas so that we can send teams to go and verify. That's especially the cantonment areas and the training centers, and see what is available and what is not available, so that we make the preparation for the training to start.
We have discussed some of the salient points mentioned in the strategic proposal of the government, with a special emphasis on the unification of forces. His Excellency has given us a series of explanations how the unification process was not processed as planned because of the certain challenge that has been faced in the course of the implementation of Chapter 2. At the same time, His Excellency emphasized to His Excellency the need for an inclusive process on all this implementation of the agreement, including the unification of forces. And I also emphasized the need for a constructive political dialogue to be given a priority so that all South Sudanese reconcile among themselves and return back to the full implementation.
Now, the 14th Innovation Africa Summit on Education, ICT and Skills concluded on Wednesday in the Ethiopian capital Addis Ababa with renewed optimism for building an innovative continent capable of generating job opportunities, enacting forward-looking policies and crafting effective strategies to drive technological transformation. Speaking at the conclusion of the summit, the Minister of Information, Communication, Technology and Postal Services, Michael Makwelwath, stresses the importance of the discussion in propelling the country to aligning with the fast-evolving information technology and communication landscape.
The summit covered a lot of issues, especially on issues to do with education, ICT, and skills. It covered a lot of issues on provision of skilled labor, on innovation, on connectivity, and all this. It actually gave us the way forward in terms of how do we catch up with these dynamic ICT developments which are moving all over the world. So it is very important that we, as Africans, we must try our level best to ensure that we catch up with the world so that we are not left behind. Next, what to be done, we need to go and sit as South Sudanese and begin to plan so that we see how best.
Now reverting your attention to the country's educational situation, UK-based organization known as Transformed Scholars Service launches scholarship opportunities for the South Sudanese students to study in numerous global universities. These include universities in United Kingdom, United States, Canada, and India. This follows a meeting between officials from the Ministry of Higher Education and the Executive Director of Transformed Scholars Educational Services, Dr. Ali Abdelgadir, to deepen collaboration. In a media statement, the Ministry's Director General for Admission, Job Akwe Alif, calls on the interested students to apply through the Office of Transformed Scholars Educational Service in Juba.
We encourage our people and our children to take this opportunity, a rare opportunity, to reach out and study abroad, especially those who have the ability. The Ministry of Higher Education always conducts nomination for scholarships, and once the Transformed Scholars Education Services gets applications from students, the Ministry of Higher Education will be happy to shortlist the capable students through merit. I have to underline here, through merit. No student will be allowed to go unless that student has the academic ability.
We do consultation for students who are interested to study abroad, either in Malaysia, UK, US, Canada, or Australia. We recruit a lot of students from different countries to study abroad. Either you want to do your bachelor or master or PhD degree, we are here to help you. We open new office in Juba, and this office is going to be in 7 days area. We have our manager here, Mr. Nazar Awad, who is going to be the manager of the office. And we are happy to help all the South Sudanese students, the young students or the older students, we don't mind. So we believe that the education is only the approach to change the life, and we are happy to be in Juba.
مكتبنا في 7 days عمارة بتاعت مراكز مول. نحن جاهزين لأي ذو بيجينا محتاج لأي إجابات أو أسئلة هو ما عارفها ممكن نوفر له الحاجات دي كلها. ونحن بنؤمن إنه التعليم ده هو شيء أساسي في تطوير الشعوب وتطوير المجتمعات. فمرحبا بكم في مكتبنا في 7 days في أي زمان.
Crossing over to Yambio, the capital of Western Equatoria State, where Yambio Central Prison has been boosted with essential food items and hygiene supplies as part of harmonizing the dire situation of the inmates. The acting governor of Western Equatoria State, Daniel Bagdagbo Rimbasa, stresses the administration's commitment to supporting the well-being of inmates and in serving their terms in the correctional facility. Sentiments echoed by the Minister of Local Government and Law Enforcement, Severino Morris. While expressing his gratitude, the officer in charge at Yambio Central Prison, Jamal Juma, confirmed that the donation included flour, cooking oil, lentils, and soaps, respectively.
Last week, the acting governor, Daniel Bagdagbo, he took to visit some of the institutions within Yambio. He went to the Ministry of Education, he went to the Yambio Civil Hospital, also he came to prison. So when he came to prison, he found that the situation was very dire. There was no food for the prisoners in the central prison because the supplier who supply food to Yambio prison has cut supply of food since October last year. And the situation of our prisoners is very dire. So it's wise to supply some food for the prisoners so that they can maintain them. So we brought some flours, oil, beans and lantern, and then plus soaps.
Alhamdulillah تم تنفيذ وعد ويوم المواد اللي هو كان يتبرع في يوم 27 والحمد لله تم تنفيذه. وبنشكر الولاية لاهتمامه للنزلاء السجن يامبيو. ده بأكد الوعد الصادق دائما يهو بالموجود. وبنشكر وزير حكم المحلي القايد معنا حاليا في الولاية هو تم بتنفيذ وعد بتاع النائب الحاكم.
كنا مرتاحين في زمن تحسن أن مساجين بتاع السجن بتاع ولاية قرب السواعية لأنه الحاكم نائب الحاكم كان جانا زيارة في أيام الفات وكان برا لنا بحاجات والحمد لله أننا بنصدق له ربنا يزيد عمر بتاعه لأنه جاب لنا أكل في السجن عشان بقدر نساعده نحن في الحياة بتاعنا لأنه وضع بتاعنا شوية كده ما كويس لكن هو ما جانا زيارة برا لنا بأكل وجاب لنا أكل وصابون.
From Yambio to Bor, the capital of Jonglei State, where as the country marks the African Vaccination Week, stakeholders are intensifying efforts to improving routine measles immunization campaigns, targeting over 300,000 children between 6 and 59 months in all counties of Jonglei State. Inspecting vaccination centers in the state, Health Minister Lual Moiluak encourages parents and guardians to vaccinate their children against measles. WHO Representative Jok Chwal highlights the importance of the vaccine in strengthening the child's immune system, adding that plans are underway to vaccinating children against all diseases.
Let us vaccinate and our kids a very bad disease. But we in South Sudan, we used to ignore it But in other countries, every child had to be vaccinated. High population did not just come, but it is done through health awareness. In reach to South Sudan is safe because the WHO cannot bring a vaccine that can kill people. The government have to follow international system of vaccination, campaign, and let us vaccinate our kids. There is no way we can avoid it. Let us cooperate and let us reach to cattle camp and let us reach to fishing camp so that we reach to our expectation. Let us go ahead with the campaign, and you people, whoever who did not have the information, let us tell people there is a campaign.
This week that has just passed, and of course this month is Africa Vaccination Week, we use it to remind our mother and also for all other counties of Jamhuri. Other counties in South Sudan, about 52 counties, we are going to have more rollout of this vaccine to be taking place. They should be able to take their children to all our health facilities to ensure that the children receive the vaccine so that the children are protected from the vaccine-preventable disease. Diarrhea cases will be reducing from your children, and this is going to be a good initiative that our government has already introduced. We appreciate the WHO, we appreciate the Ministry of Health, the routine immunization, and it's going to protect our children from pneumonia-related infection. So you are going to see that our children are going to have more protection.
Now, the Chief of Defense Forces, General Paul Nang, confirms security stability in Nasser and Ulang counties of Upper Nile State. The Army Chief made the statement upon his return from Nasser and Ulang counties on Wednesday. General Paul calls on the people of Nasser and Ulang counties to return home, directing all SPLM in opposition IO forces to report to their training centers.
Nena masalam. Umadana fi fesu nena jahazina kush الميدان. نحن رحم نبو والوالي أشار لكلام ده. الوالي بتاع بارغزال قال إنه أنتم أيوة الموجودين في بارغزال كوش الميدان. I think إنه الوضع الماشي ده هتكون يعني هتنتهي والوضع بس هتكون في ناصر ولان ودوما، لكن الناب بتاع جنوب السودان كله هتكون مستطف فيه والسلام ما زال ساير. فكلام بتاعتي انه الاخير انه انا داير الجنوبيين وجيش الشعبي يحتفظ بالسلام، لانه ده الوثيقه الوحيده الموجود عندنا وده وثيقه.
The Abyei Administrative Area Relief and Rehabilitation Commission, in collaboration with Youth Organization for Peace Support, launches the distribution of food to Sudanese refugees in the area. In a statement to Ssbc, the Commission's chairperson, Daniel Reg Ador, appreciated the organization for supporting the refugees, urging humanitarian organizations to support the process. The Deputy Chairperson of Youth Organization for Peace Support, Sarah Atoch, assures their commitment to continuing mobilizing resources to support the refugees and returnees in the country. UNHCR Representative Rose Thomas appreciates the organization for the program.
Here we are at the transit camps. The Sudanese refugees who were transit here to stay for a certain period of time and then relocated to the refugee camps. it has become the permanent camps. With me here today are the youth organization for peace support who have come, visited the location, visited the refugee, and with them is a very small kind of assistance they brought in form of in-kind food items. They will distribute it to a few individuals who are severely vulnerable. And with them is the committee for the refugee, and the CRA will sit down and organize how best these foods can be distributed to the refugee.
The situation within the camp is very devastating, and everybody here lacks basic needs like food, shelter, water, and much more that might not be told. Currently, the Youth Organization for Peace Support has been able to reach out, and we will do a distribution for food and non-food items to the refugees and returnees here. The problem is, what next? There is a lot more that needs to be done. This camp here is intended to be a transit camp where people settle for a few before they proceed to other destinations. But due to the ongoing challenges, so many people have been living here for a long time, and they're seeking to be moved to various places. This is a call for help and support from various organizations and institutions to support the local government and authorities within a Bay administrative area to help relocate the refugees and returnees from the conflict, from the transit camp.
I just want to appreciate the Youth Empowerment for Development together with the Commissioner for Relief and Rehabilitation, RRC, for their well-being support they have rendered to the refugees in Abyei. We all know that in Abyei we do not have a camp, but we have a transit center which is being managed by UNHCR at the moment. So refugees are being stationed here for a period of time, and then they are moved to northern Barghazal where the settlement is. So when these refugees are moved there, there's some support that is rendered to them by UNHCR and other partners who are operating in the camp. So basically in Abyei, they are given protection, and then there's some support that is rendered to them by UNHCR and also other partners.
As the mainstream media continues to contend with the rise of fake news and hate speech driven by citizen media, media leaders and practitioners are being called upon to stick to fact-checking practice to maintaining accuracy and impartiality. The call was made during a training program for journalists on combating hate speech, misinformation and disinformation organized by the Association of Media Development in South Sudan. Addressing the program, the Director General for Information and Media Compliance at the National Media Authority, Sapana Abui, urges journalists to work collectively with stakeholders to tackling the spread of harmful content in the country. AMD's Director Aya Hirin stresses the need for professionalism, encouraging media people to avoid spreading misinformation and uphold ethical reporting standards.
Media has opened up for us a platform which brought us together in the country as one family, in one house. Anything that is said in this corner, you can hear it from that corner. That's where the problem comes in. And then it brought in to us the issue of our backgrounds. And that's why ethnicity became our biggest problem. Because usually and traditionally, we don't live together.
It is important during this current situation in South Sudan that journalists have the skills on peace journalism to be able to select their word carefully in order not to cause harm to the people. We have seen a lot of misinformation and disinformation going on social media. There are some that we really have no control over, because whoever is using social media, sometimes they are not really journalists. Most of them are citizen journalists. So, but we want the mainstream media, which is the traditional media, to do their work differently. They should be careful in ensuring that any information that they are publishing, before they publish, they have to verify and make sure that.
That's it from me and the team. I am Mathiang Joseph, and thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned for more program coming up.